and today he will bring up the topic about data security and its application in our life. After the topics, there will be a Q&A session for all the participants. It's open for all the participants to ask a question to our speaker about the topic. After that, there will be a photo shoot together with the speaker. So please turn on your camera and prepare your best smile and outfit. At the end of the class, there will be a presence and a feedback form. So the participant must fill the form to get e-certificate that will be sent to your email. Okay, let's start our class by opening speech by Mr. Hendra. For Mr. Hendra, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fikri. Distinguished participants, speaker, lecturers, students, and all guests, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I say Alhamdulillah that at this time we are all in good health and can meet even virtually. On behalf of all members of Information System Study Program, Faculty of Science and Technology, Universitas Airlangga, and warm welcome to the participants of DECOTA 2020 are conducted in virtually. The current COVID pandemic is a time that we didn't predict before, but we must still have the spirit of working well and producing new innovation. Even though this event is held virtual, we hope that the speaker and participants can communicate both at this class and will email on other occasions. In this occasion, I would like to thank the guest speaker, Associate Professor Mohammed Hazim Alkawaz from Faculty of Information Sciences and Engineering, Management and Science University, Malaysia. Finally, let me congratulate to all of you once again for organizing and participating in the class of DECOTA 2020. I would like to express my gratitude for the hard work on the succeeding this program. Thank to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for His blessing so far. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Hendra, for the opening speech. Before we move on to the next agenda, I will tell you a little bit about Dr. Hazim CV. His full name is Mohammed Hazim Amin Alkawaz. He is 31 years old. He is speaking Arabic natively and English fluently. He has a research interest. That topic of interest is the digital image processing, computer forensic, research methodologies, advanced computer graphic and multimedia, and oxygenation absorption of facial skin. And the area of the interest is image enhancement, segmentation, video processing, virtual reality, computer animation, and human-machine interaction. The educational experience of Dr. Hazim. He is a doctor of philosophy at Universitas Technology Malaysia. Graduate at July 2015. He is a master degree at Universitas Technology Malaysia. Graduate at March 2013, and a bachelor degree at Mosul University at Iraq, and graduate at August 2010. I think that's enough for the CV. I think let's continue to our topic with our special speaker today. The topic is about data security and its application in our life. For Dr. Hazim, the platform and the microphone is yours.
Okay, test 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Okay. First of all, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning from here, from Malaysia, to all of you. On behalf of the Management and Science University, particularly Faculty of Information Sciences and Engineering, I would like to thank all of you, especially Haranda and also Mr. Haranda and also Mr. Fikri for the good, and the amazing introduction that has been given about me. And also thanks Airlangga University for giving me this opportunity to share with you. So once again, thank you very much. And let me go direct to the slide. Mr. Fikri, can you allow me to share a slide if possible? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, now, can you see the slide?
Yes.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, First of all, let me introduce myself first. A part of the introduction that has been given by Mr. Fikri. My name is Associated Prof. Dr. Mohammed Hazim. I am what we call it right now 31 years old. I got my bachelor in computer science from University of Mosul, Iraq in 2010. And I got my master in computer science from University of Technology, Malaysia. If you know Johor Bahru in Skudai in 2013, within 1 year. And I got my PhD, Doctor of Philosophy in computer science within 2 years. So after that, I have joined the Management and Science University. Currently, I am the Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Information Science and Engineering for the Student Affairs. Okay, this is my email and this is my contact number. If you have any question or if you have anything that you would like to know more details about it, you can WhatsApp me. But before I'm going to start with the first slide, I would like to know the audience come from which background, which program that they have taken or they are taking right now. So can I have which degree? Is it diploma or bachelor degree? Anyone would like to talk?
Okay, please. Mr. Dari, maybe Muhammad Dari.
Okay, Mr. Dari.
Would you?
Okay, I'm from. I'm studying bachelor degree in information system. Right now, I'm in my final year.
Oh, you are in the final year, so for sure you're supposed to be taking right now final year project, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Lagi, is there anyone taking bachelor in computer science? Bachelor in computer security?
Okay, Fahima, Ula, Fahima, please open your mic.
Okay. Hello. Can you
Hello,
hear
yes.
me, sir? I think
Yes.
I guess everyone here is taking bachelor in computer science, sir.
Oh, everyone taking bachelor in computer science. Okay. Thank you. How many of you here? 150. Okay, let's start. At the end of the session, I'm going to to give you also a briefing and also an overview of the programs that we have under the faculty here, and also what is the facilities and what is the soft skill programs that we are going to to give to the student if they would like to join our programs, as your university is one of the partnership that with MSU. So let's start first. Okay, Assalamu alaikum once again, and very good morning to everyone. So our topic today for the sharing session is data security and its application in our life. I am going to show you a video to be the introduction of this session. I want every one of you to wear the earphone because the video contains of sounds, and I want you to hear the sound itself. Is it clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
so let me show you. The first video is okay, can you see the video?
Not yet, sir.
Not
Still
yet.
on the.
Not yet, sir.
Oh, yeah, good job. Let me stop sharing and share again. Then this is the normal problem happen when you are using the Zoom. Okay, now I think you can see, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so enjoy the view.
Yes, sir.
A great deal of our security focuses on keeping our devices secure. While this is important, understand that most attackers are not after your devices, sensitive information that resides in them. Examples of sensitive information can include organizational secrets, financial statements, medical Always understand the sensitivity of the information you're entering. If you are uncertain about the sensitivity of information or the steps you should take to secure it, ask your supervisor. Only use systems authorized by our organization to store, process, or transmit sensitive information. Do not copy or store sensitive information to any unauthorized systems or equipment, such as personal photos or personal email. If you are authorized to have privileged access to a system, always log in with your unprivileged user ID. Then validate your privileges only when needed. Never log in directly as a privileged user. If you transfer sensitive information, use secure, authorized methods that support strong encryption. Do not transfer sensitive data using insecure unless you are using specialized encryption software that you have been properly trained to miss. You must have prior approval to store.
I'm sorry, sir. I think the volume is too small.
Small.
Yes.
Again?
I think
Hello?
we need to replay it with a larger volume. I don't know for from the system because we already maxed the volume, but it's still too small for us to hear it.
Kejap, let me try again. Because this is the highest value.
I suggest you just
Now?
need to close caption.
External hard drives. If you have prior authorization,
Can you hear now?
then all sensitive data
Yes.
should be encrypted.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, sir.
More better.
Better, sir.
Never
Let me
store
repeat it then.
focuses on keeping.
Okay, Fikri, if what we call it, you do not hear or something, please stop me, yeah?
Yes.
Alert me. Okay, so now you can hear.
A great deal of our security focuses on keeping your devices secure. While this is important, understand that most attackers are not after your devices, but the sensitive information that resides on them. Examples of sensitive information can include organizational secrets, financial statements, medical records, credit card numbers, and personally identifiable information. As such, you should take the following steps when handling sensitive information. Always understand the sensitivity of the information you are working with. If you are uncertain about the sensitivity of any information or the steps you should take to secure it, ask your supervisor. Only use systems authorized by our organization to store, process, or transmit sensitive information. Do not copy or store sensitive information to any unauthorized systems or accounts, such as personal laptops or personal email accounts. If you are authorized to have privileged access to a system, always log in with your unique, non-privileged user ID. Then elevate your privileges only when needed. Never log in directly as a privileged user. If you transfer sensitive information, use secure, authorized methods that support strong encryption. Do not transfer sensitive data using insecure means, such as email, unless you are using specialized encryption software that you have been properly trained to use. You must have prior approval to store sensitive information on removable media or portable storage systems, such as CDs, DVDs, USB flash drives, and external hard drives. If you have prior authorization, then all sensitive data should be encrypted using approved encryption software. Never store or share sensitive information on public internet or cloud services, such as Dropbox, Apple iCloud, or Google Drive, unless you have prior authorization from management. Be careful responding to any emails or phone calls in which someone is asking you to send them sensitive information. Always authenticate the person first, using approved procedures, and then ensure they are authorized to access such information before sharing anything. Never leave any sensitive documents unattended at your desk. Instead, secure sensitive documents when you leave them, such as locking them in a secure cabinet. In addition, whenever you leave your computer, make sure the screen is password protected. This helps to ensure that unauthorized personnel cannot access your computer while you are away. Use only authorized software for work-related activities. Never install or use unlicensed or unauthorized software. Any third-party vendor provided with sensitive information or given access to it must be required to safeguard the data. This may require a contract and evaluation of their security controls to ensure adequate protection of the data. Any sensitive information that is no longer necessary or appropriate to store should be properly destroyed, shredded, or rendered unreadable, consistent with our record retention practices. If you believe any sensitive data has been lost, stolen, or compromised, be sure to contact the help desk or security team immediately. The sooner our organization is notified, the quicker we can respond to minimize damage. These steps should be applied in a way that is consistent with our policies. Your understanding and following of our data security policies is key to securing our sensitive information and our organization.
Okay, have you watched the video?
Yes, we watch it.
Have you hear what we call it, the voice clearly?
Yes, we can hear it clearly.
Yes,
Okay, good. Now, let's talk about what we call it, some of the main important, what we call it, terms in the field of information security or computer security. First term, can you see the slide?
Yes, we can see.
Yes, sir.
Okay, first term is the computer security. Actually, what is the main idea and what is the, what we call it, the definition of the computer security? Computer security, actually, in brief, any collection of tools, software, that designed to protect the data and to prevent the hackers and to secure the information inside our laptop, such as software, such as firewall. So this is all about the computer security. Now, another important term, we call it network security, which is how are we going to measure or to protect the data during what we call it the transaction from A, or during the transfer from A to B, or from the sender to the receiver. Right now, I want to ask you a question. Do you think we can create network without using internet? Anyone answer? Do you think we can create network without using the internet? Is it possible or not?
Possible if it's local.
Again? Hello?
It's possible if the network run locally, not on the,
Okay,
on
let's
the net.
say that we have two laptops and we connect two laptops using the cable. Can we call that one as a network or not?
This is called PAN, personal area network.
Yeah, we call it as a network, and we do not use the internet to connect these two laptops. We only use the cable. So network security is measures to protect the data during the transmission across the network. Okay, that's when it has come to the data security. Now, internet security, it's similar to the data security. It's similar to the network security. But when it's come to the internet security, we have to measure the data protection during the transmission over a collection of interconnected network. Means that the information, how are we going to, what we call it, to secure the information through the transaction via the internet. For example, if I want to send what we call it a message or an data to one of my friends, and I want that one to be secure, so I need to encrypt the data. Have you heard about encryption and decryption?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard about data encryption and data decryption?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Why actually do we need to encrypt the data?
for
I
the security privacy.
Again, I can't hear you clearly.
We need to encrypt the data because it's private data and we need to secure it.
Yes, in order for us to secure the data, we have to encrypt it, right? So when the encrypted data will be sent and will be received by the receiver, what is the thing that the receiver need to do in order for the receiver to read the message or to read the data?
Decrypt the data.
Yes, decrypt the data. Here we need to decrypt the data because if we want to read the data, which is the what we call the encrypted data, we cannot read it because it's already been encrypted. So in order for us to read the data, we need to decrypt the message. There are many algorithms and many methods that's related to the encryption. Have you heard about the Caesar cipher?
Yes.
Caesar cipher, manual alphabetic cipher, Playfair cipher, all these algorithms, it's used to encrypt and to decrypt what we call it, the data, in order for us to make sure the security of the information or the knowledge that we share throughout the internet or throughout the network, it's really secure. So this is a small, or what we call a briefly introduction about the data security. So let's go to more important terms in the field of security. Security attack, security mechanism, and also security service. Okay, in order for us to secure the data or the information, what should we know first? In order for us to secure our data and our information, first we need to know how many type of attack do we have. Then based on this attack, we prevent and we use the what we call it the right mechanism to secure our data. Any one of you have heard about attack?
Yes. We heard
Okay.
it.
You have heard about it. So today I'm going to share with you the terms attack and also mechanism and also service. Security attack, actually, it's any action that compromise the secure of the data or the information that we have it in our server, in our computer, in our laptops. So this is the term of what we call it attack. The mechanism itself is the way or the tools that we use to secure the data. And the third term here is security service. Why do you think we need security service? We need security service because it's very important, because it's enhanced the security of the data processing and transferring through the network. So let me share with you some of the service that's very important in the field of security. Okay, let me asking you a question. Do you think confidentiality is important?
Yes.
Okay, if I may
Yes.
ask, Amir,
Yes. Yes, sir.
Amir. Okay, for sure you have phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if I will asking you, can you give me your username and what we call it, your password for your phone? Are you willing to give or not? Honestly
Not.
answer, not, right?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's my privacy, sir.
That's your confident, what you call, that's your you have your privacy and you have the information that you do not want to share with anyone, right?
Right, sir.
So this is the same thing when it's come to the information and the data that we have in our device. So confidentiality is very important to ensure that what we call it only authorized people can access the system and can get the information. This is when it has come to the confidentiality. Another term when it has come to the service under the security, which is we call it the authentication. The authentication itself to ensure the originality of the message and it is really being sent by the right person. For example, me and Fikri and Amir. Okay, example, huh? Okay, me and Fikri and Amir. I want to send a message to Amir. I consider as what? As a sender, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Amir consider as a
Receiver.
Receiver.
receiver. Okay, let's say that Fikri is the attack. Example, huh? Fikri is the attack. So Fikri sent a message to Amir and he claimed that that message is from me. So this is the problem why we need to make sure what we call it the identity of the sender. That's why we have to come out with the authentication service. So to ensure that only what we call it the message that we have received from the sender is really correct and it's true from the real sender. Okay, now this is when it has come to the confidentiality. Now the integrity, which is another very important term when it has come to the security service. The integrity, which is to ensure that only the authorized party or the authorized person can modify or edit the data or the information in our system or in our computer. Now, another type of service, we call it non-repudiation. Anyone of you have heard about non-repudiation? Hello?
No, I guess.
Yes, I've heard it. I've heard
You
it.
have heard about non-repudiation?
I haven't heard that before.
Not yet, sir.
Non-repudiation, let me giving you example of it. We have A and we have B. Let's say that A want to send a message to B. B already received the message, but he claimed that he didn't receive the message. So non-repudiation, which is very important service that we need to provide in the term of security. Why? Because we do not want either the sender or the receiver will deny he sent or he received the message. Okay, so this is very important, what we call it service. Another one, which is the access control. It's also required that access to the information resource, it should be only controlled and target system. So the last one is the availability, which is this one require computer system assist to be available to authorized party only when it's needed. Because if you want to change anything, we want to edit and modify, we should have this function. Okay, now let's move on. As I said just now, in order for us to know and to secure our data and information, we need to know how many attacks do we have. I'm going to talk about 4 types of attack here, which is the first one, the interruption. The interruption means that the attack will interrupt the transaction of the data. Let's say that A and B, A send a message to B. This attack is on availability, means that it will interrupt the transmission of the data. Later on, I will show you a picture of each type of attack. It will be very clear for you. Now, the interception. For the interception, this one, the attack, what we call it, or the third person will be having access to the communication between A and B. That's why this one will be category as a confidentiality attack based on the confidentiality, because it will not affect anything to the data, but he or she will be in the know of what is the information it's all about. Modification. This type of attack, where is the third party already have the access to our system, and he or she will modify the data and play around and edit the data. That's why this attack focuses on the integrity of the information. The last one, which is the fabrication, from the name, this one will fabricate the data and will send it to the receiver, and they claim that this message has been come from the sender, but in fact the sender is not sending any message. That's why this type of attack will be focusing on the authentication. Now, to make it simple for you to understand, as I said, this is what we call it the sender, this is the receiver. When it's come to the interruption, it will interrupt the data. Fakri, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so when it is come to the interruption, the attack will interrupt the data, so the data will not reach the sender. Now, when it is come to the interception, as I said just now, the interception, it will be intercept the data and know all the information, but it will not affect anything to the data. Modification, if you can see here, for the modification, the attack or the hacker will interrupt the data and will modify it and will edit it, then will send it to the sender. The last type of attack, we call it fabrication, as I said just now. It's claim that the message sent from the sender and to the receiver, but in fact, as you can see here, there is no any line from the sender. So this is all when it is come to the security attack. Now, one of the important, what we call it, terms that used to improve the data security or securing the information is the data mining. What actually is the data mining all about? Data mining is a process of discovering the pattern in large data set involving method and involving mathematics, algorithms to train and to make what we call it the data very useful. So when it is come, some of you will asking me, what is the difference between data mining and database, right? Okay, data mining actually it is a database. Later I will show you the structure of the what we call it the data mining as well. But when it is come to the data mining, it's used for the analysis, it's used mathematics, it's used calculation. But when it is come to the database, it is not. So that's why I said to you, when it is come to the data mining, actually what is the idea, what we call it, behind the data mining? Because we have too many, what we call it, data, which come from many sources, such as LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitters. So the data mining is help to extract the knowledge of these data using the mathematical techniques. It will make also, what we call it, help us to make a decision. So here we will focus on 4 types of data mine, which is classification, recognition, clustering, anomaly detection, and the last one is association learning. So this is the most important techniques when it's come to the data mining. Okay, let me give you a brief and also what we call it introduction and a briefing about each type of data mining and why data mining is very useful for us. Let's watch this video. Okay, are you seeing the video or not?
No,
Not
it's
yet,
still
sir.
the slide.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Kajap. I think should be fine now. Can you see?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Let me try the sound if you can hear. Can you
Yes.
hear or not?
Not.
Because I stopped it. No, just now. Can you hear or not?
It is not loud enough, sir.
Give me thumbs up. Can you hear now? I stop the video, but just now when I play, can you hear?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, now?
Every company is dying to tell you about its big.
Yes, good.
Okay, now?
Can hear it,
Good
sir.
enough,
Now,
sir.
okay.
Can.
Okay. Watch this video. It's very nice one.
Data. That word is everywhere these days. Every company is dying to tell you about its big data, data analytics, data privacy, data warehouse, data lake, data. And at the center of the data mania is data mining, the practice of sifting through all those piles of information for insights. Data mining recently made big news with the Cambridge Analytica scandal. The political consultancy reportedly sucked up data about millions of Facebook users without their knowledge, then used it to profile and sway voters in the US, UK, and elsewhere. And similar techniques let companies like Amazon, Facebook, and Google work out what we want to see or buy, sometimes with shocking accuracy. It's a little creepy. It's not just ads and politics either. Data mining allows airlines to predict who's going to miss a flight. It tells big box stores who's pregnant. It helps doctors spot fatal infections. And it's even enabled cell phone companies to predict massacres in the Congo. The power of data mining and the hype surrounding it can make it sound like a magic wand, one that will either save your business or sink democracy. Of course, data mining doesn't really involve any unicorn hair or phoenix tail feathers. It's just applied statistics, searching lots of data points for patterns that humans might not spot. Those patterns are based not on human intuition, but on whatever the data suggests. So sometimes they can seem incredibly subtle or even alien, but there's no more magic in data mining than there is in a weather forecast. In fact, data mining is a lot like meteorology. Meteorologists aim for two things. First, they want to describe patterns in the weather to boil down its massive complexity into a few numbers and equations. And second, they want to predict Tuesday's weather. That's the whole point. Similarly, Spotify's data scientists might be interested in describing medieval rock fans and recognizing them as a group distinct from nerdcore or freak folk fans. Yes, that's a real subgenre. Ultimately, though, what's most important to companies like Spotify is predicting what each person wants to listen to. The key with data mining is that it achieves description and prediction not through careful study by experts, but by analyzing large amounts of data. In Spotify's case, that might mean scanning for patterns in genre labels, acoustic attributes, internet reviews, and anything else about each track, plus the age, location, friend group, and other scraps of information about each user. Data mining is more about spotting patterns than explaining them. Of course, the words pattern and data can mean just about anything. There are no clear definitions for data mining, data science, or big data, and they're sometimes used interchangeably with each other or with machine learning. That's why it's so easy to slap these buzzwords onto any project for instant venture capital karma. That being said, a few types of techniques consistently earn the data mining label. The most broadly applicable one is classification, where you try to categorize things. For example, Target famously realized as early as 2002 that they could guess who was pregnant and send them baby-related coupons. That's a textbook classification problem. Target needed to assign each customer to one of two categories, either probably pregnant or probably not pregnant. Classification typically works in several stages. First, each example or instance has to be broken down into a collection of numerical attributes or features. For a store like Target, an instance might be your mom 7 months before you were born. The features would be things like how many bottles of unscented lotion did she buy in the last 3 months? How about in the quarter before that? And likewise for zinc supplements, Asian pears, and every other product in the inventory. The store would also need labels for some chunk of the data, the ground truth about whether those customers were pregnant. Target got those labels from baby registries and due dates customers had shared. Once the data's all lined up, it's time for training. That's where the system tries to tease out patterns from all the labeled examples. Learning to classify is such a basic common need that dozens kinds of algorithms, the mathematical procedures computer programs follow, have been devised for it. Which algorithm works best depends on all kinds of factors, like how many categories there are and how different features are connected to each other. But many classification algorithms are similar in that they treat each feature as a drop of evidence for one category or the other. The features get weights indicating how strongly they boost or weaken someone's chances of falling into the yes category, that they are pregnant, for example. Those weights are what the system learns during training. Basically, it's figuring out how informative each attribute is. And finally, to classify instances the system hasn't seen before, it puts together all the weighted contributions and maybe stuffs the resulting number through a bit of mathematical machinery to slide it up or down. If the result is negative, that instance goes in the no bucket. If it's positive, load up on those crib coupons. Each individual feature doesn't tell you much. In fact, many turn out to be irrelevant, but together they can be really powerful. Target's approach worked so well that when one customer complained that his teenage daughter was getting coupons for baby clothes, he ended up apologizing to Target. It turned out the company knew about his daughter's pregnancy before he did. Classification is useful anytime you want to tell one group of things from another. Insurance companies use it to guess which elderly patients will die soon so they can start end-of-life counseling. And doctors use it to check whether premature babies are developing dangerous infections, since the classifier can put together subtle disease indicators before humans would notice any signs. I could spend all day listing uses for classification, but it's far from the only type of data mining. One close cousin is known as regression. And no, that doesn't mean deciding you like Limp Bizkit again. In regression, instead of predicting a category, the goal is to predict a number. Take Target again. They wanted to know not just whether each customer was pregnant, but when to send each coupon. So they managed to estimate due dates too. And that's a regression question. How many weeks until the customer gives birth? Regression often depends on dozens or even thousands of variables, the features that describe each example. It finds an equation or curve to fit the data points, telling you how high you'd expect the curve to be given any arbitrary input, or in this case, how far away you'd expect the customer's due date to be. Like in classification, many regression techniques give each feature a weight, then combine the positive negative contributions from the weighted features to get an estimate. And also like classification, regression is used everywhere. One of the better known examples is Google Flu Trends. In 2008, it began publishing real-time estimates of how many people had the flu based on searches for words like fever and cough. Regression is also part of predictive policing software, programs that look at historical data to guess how likely a crime is to occur in each area. The third major data mining technique is clustering. As the name suggests, the goal here is to group data points in a way that helps with the analysis. In the marketing world, clustering emerged in the 1980s, well before data mining, with the work of a market researcher named Howard Moskowitz. He struck gold when he realized that there wasn't one best pasta sauce. Consumers showed three distinct types of preferences, and the previously unrecognized group that craved extra chunky turned out to be worth millions. Clustering is often used to analyze market segmentation like this, but to understand how the techniques work, let's take a different example. eBay. On eBay, you can get millions of products, from antiques to zip ties. Even within a single category, like electronics, the selection is overwhelming. So eBay organizes things into subcategories. But it's a pain for humans to trawl through all the electronics, identify subcategories, and assign every product to a subcategory. Instead, the company can use clustering to automatically group the products. Again, each product first has to be broken down into numerical features, like how many times printer appears in the description, or who manufactured it. The simplest clustering method is to guess how many distinct subcategories there should be, then you randomly lump items together into that many clusters, and keep shifting items between groups to make each cluster tighter. In the end, similar products end up settling into clusters together. But we don't have to stop there. The blue and silver versions of the same camera don't really deserve separate listings. They're variants of the same product. So in addition to subcategories, it would be nice to find listings to merge. Sites like eBay can do both simultaneously with a technique called hierarchical clustering. Rather than a single set of categories, hierarchical clustering produces a sort of taxonomic tree. For example, it might find that cameras are much more like each other than like TVs. But within cameras, the DSLRs and point and shoots each get their own subgroup, albeit slightly less distinct ones. And within those are many different models, each with a few variants. Companies like Cambridge Analytica use these techniques to look for groups of voters who will respond to the same kinds of advertising. And Spotify can use them to guess who will like similar music. The fourth staple of data mining is anomaly detection. It's basically a special case of classification, identifying instances that are unusual or worrisome. The IRS uses anomaly detection to spot likely tax evaders, and credit card companies use it to flag transactions transactions that don't fit your usual buying habits. It also helps industries with heavy-duty equipment. For instance, power companies and airlines can see when a generator or a jet engine is starting to vibrate differently than usual. Some anomalies can be detected just by looking for deviations from averages. Fancier techniques include looking for instances that don't match any cluster, or comparing instances with the closest other examples to see if their feature values are far off. Finally, association learning reveals which birds are of a feather. The idea is to look through, say, millions of grocery store purchases to see what gets bought together and when. A classic example is the Osco drugstore chain, which once found that many customers bought beer and diapers together on Friday evenings. Contrary to popular legend, the store never acted on this profound insight, but stores regularly use observations like this to optimize their floor layouts and inventory. For instance, Walmart discovered that shoppers buy lots of Pop-Tarts immediately before hurricanes, so it started to stock up. Association learning has broader applications too. Celltel, an African cell phone company, realized it could spot impending massacres in the Congo when everyone nearby started buying prepaid phone cards. So the 5 strategies we've covered, classification, regression, clustering, anomaly detection, and association learning, form the backbone of data mining. What makes them so powerful is that they offer standard mathematical tools you can use for everything from curating Facebook feeds to optimizing store layouts. But that ease of use can also lead people astray. Data mining is just one step in the process of extracting knowledge from data, and it's all too easy to whip out an algorithm without carefully selecting the data, massaging it into the right form, and considering how to interpret the results. Remember Google flu trends? It shut down after a few years, but not because the algorithm was broken. Search auto-completion had totally thrown off the data, and engineers had given it too much leeway to interpret seasonal words like snow as evidence of the flu. And then there are the queasy social implications of sharing data in the first place, and of letting companies form such an intimate understanding of our behavior. In other words, the creep factor. So as powerful as it is, the math of data mining is just the beginning. Sometimes the hardest part is all the messy human stuff. Thanks for watching this episode of SciShow. If you're interested in the ways companies can use psychology to learn even more about you from your data, you can check out our video about...
Okay, have you watched the video?
Yes, we have.
Have you heard what did he say throughout the video?
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Okay, now I would like to ask a few questions related to the video, just to know that you already, what we call it, got the idea behind the data mining or not. What actually all the data mining all about? What you have understand from the video that you have what we call watch just now? Should I pick student to answer?
Sure.
Okay, let me maximize the screen here. Okay, Amir, can you hear me? Okay,
Yes, sir.
what is the thing that you have understand from the video? Unmute yourself, Amir. Unmute yourself.
Gimana cara ngomongnya? Data mining I think is a process of discovering pattern in large data, sir.
Yeah, it's extracting what we call it the knowledge and the information from the data that we have using mathematical and what we call it statistical method. So that's all the what we call it all about data mining. How many techniques has been what we call it mentioned? Let me ask another one. Hannah, am I pronounce it correctly?
Oh, yes, sir. Hanan.
Okay. How many techniques for the data, what we call it mining, that has been mentioned in the video just now? Give me one. I don't want to make it difficult for you. Give me only one.
There is Statistics, sir. I think.
We have five techniques has been mentioned just now in the slide. Give me one.
Classification and clustering, if I'm not mistaken.
Good. You give me two instead of one. Good.
Yes.
Smart.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Who's Dari? Dari.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, give me another, what we call it, techniques of the data mining that has been mentioned in the video just now. Your friend just now mentioned classification and also another one, clustering. Satu lagi?
Regression.
Again?
Regression.
Regression, correct. Thank you. Satu lagi, let me choose who is else. Kejap. Let me stop sharing because this one, when I share, I cannot see all of you. If I don't share, I will see all of you. Okay. Now it's very wide and clear. Anissa? I am pronouncing your name correctly? Unmute yourself, Anissa.
Yes. Yeah, yes.
Okay, give me another type of what we call it, another type of data mining when it's come to the techniques and to the data mining. Your friends just now mentioned about clustering, recognition, and also clustering. There are two more to go.
Yes, there's anomaly detection.
Okay, thank you. The last one, should I choose Malvin? I like that name. Malvin.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, give me the last, what we call it, data mining techniques that has been mentioned in the video just now.
The last one is association learning.
Correct. So, as I said just now, when it's come to the, what we call it, data mining techniques, we have five types of technique. The first one is a classification. The second one is recognition. The third one is the clustering. The fourth one is the anomaly detection. And the last one is the association learning. Let us continue. Okay. Can you see now the slide or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can, sir.
Data mining in cybersecurity. Okay, here where the use of what we call it data mining to improve the security. We're going to explain about it later on. And data mining techniques for cybersecurity contribute to the discipline of the security informatics. Data mining techniques actually has been successfully applied in many fields, such as marketing, manufacturing, fraud detection, and also network management. Actually, one of the example of the data mining in cybersecurity is in the field of intrusion detection. What actually intrusion detection is? Intrusion detection is the process of monitoring and analyzing the event occurring in the computer system in order for us to detect, or what we call it, to discover the sign of the security problem. Because if we discover the problem itself, we can, what we call, find a solution, and we will avoid, what we call it, the hacker from accessing our system. The problem of this, what we call intrusion detection, can be reduced using the data mine, because we are going to classifying the data itself using the data mining. So where we are going to classify the data using the data mining, the intrusion detection problem will be reduced too much. So that's why we will increase or enhance the security terms when it is come to securing the information. I have what we call it, put here one of the system that we call it says cybersecurity use. Actually, it is a security analytic, and it looks very, very nice. and the concept of it, they are using the data mining. So this is where we use the data mining in the field of cybersecurity or in the field of securing the information. Let me, what we call it, show you this video. Need to stop this one. Focus on the video because I will asking you a few questions related to the video that I'm going to share with you. Where is it? Good job. Can you see or not?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet, sir.
Not yet, okay.
Hi, I'm Brett Callen, and in this video, I'm going to show you how anyone can quickly and easily create doodle videos, just like
Okay. Why I cannot share with you now? Okay, can you see now? Fikri?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can see what you call it, the video, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I will display.
every day, cybersecurity professionals are faced with decisions that impact their organization's risk postures. To drive better security outcomes, they must make quick and accurate decisions about where to focus their efforts, what constitutes a security threat, and how to progress an investigation. Yet, the data they use is often unreliable, lacks context, or is fragmented across tens or hundreds of security products. Professionals are overburdened dealing with the data, these complex tools, and their results. Important security incidents may be missed, unnecessary costs incurred, and inefficiencies continued. To help organizations address these challenges, SAS offers SAS Cybersecurity Security Analytics software. SAS Cybersecurity provides a flexible foundational analytics layer for security investigation, automation, and orchestration capabilities. Based on a unique analytics-first approach to security, SAS Cybersecurity consolidates data and analytics silos to provide continuous monitoring and detection. Organizations can understand their security postures, identify specific weaknesses, see indicators of attack before compromise, and effectively prioritize investigations and remediation. Let's take a look. For today's demo, I'm going to play the role of David Price, security investigator. As you can see, I've already logged into the SAS cybersecurity demo. I probably would start my day reviewing the most critical risks in my organization's network, looking at what devices are behaving suspiciously. How I would do this in SAS cybersecurity is I would click on Security Investigator and look at security events, analyzing security events.
And here I would show let's look at the top 25 security events over the last 24 hours. There are quite a few events, as you can see, the most recent and the most critical being this event with a 100 score on December the 4th at 14:30 hours. One thing I'll point out is up at the top, you've got the summary. This is the summary of all event statistics, which really provides helpful information for me to report out to management on overall event trends, how many events are under investigations, how many cases, and how many critical events there are in the network. So let's get back to this first event with the critical score of 100. Here I can see if this event already has somebody assigned to it. Because it's unconfirmed, obviously it doesn't just yet. And if it's already got a case created for it. And since, again, it's unconfirmed, it doesn't have one. I've got some basic event data, what device it's associated with, as evidenced by its assigned IP address, its MAC address, and what user ID is assigned to that IP address, as well as some additional detail about the event. Now, this event, security event, was triggered by 46 indicators of compromise, 4 of which you can see here. These indicators of compromise represent different analytics that SaaS cybersecurity uses. SaaS cybersecurity uses over 70 analytics. And these analytics are a combination of rules, signatures, and machine learning, which is a building block of artificial intelligence. If I expand this right here, I can see the list of all of the different analytics which were triggered for this security event. One of the interesting things that SaaS cybersecurity provides is I can slide this over here and I can look at the business impact to my organization. This is just a quick visual representation of how this event might be impacting my organization. Is this device a high value entity? Is it an executive laptop, for example? Does this device impact a business process? Does it pose a high risk of contagion? Is there a system risk? These different business impacts are set by the system administrator and can be customized. Now that I've got some basic information about this security event, I'll want to drill down into it further and do some analysis. So I can start creating my hypotheses and progress that investigation. Now, scrolling down, you've got a timeline of notable events. Each security event is comprised of a variety of notable events. Notable events are analyzed through a variety of analytic passes to create a security event, which helps to reduce the false positives. Each notable event has its own event score and has its own event evidence summary with the details. I can go into the event evidence summary and see the actual details and underlying data, what the actual behavior for that device was within that notable event, what the typical behavior was, and what the peer group behavior was. SaaS cybersecurity also uses peer group behavior to determine notable events and security events. Then I can also see the actual detailed behaviors. I can go to the raw data if I want to for the event to drill into even more detail. This is very helpful for progressing investigations. Let's say my day starts a different way. Instead of identifying what are the hotspots in my organization, let's say I would want to review what cases I have on my plate. I would go to Security Investigator, and either I might search for a specific case that I've been working on, or I would review all my queue and was created for me by Eric Shape. I can see how many users and devices are associated with the case, how long it's been open, and when it was last updated. As you can see, it's only got one associated event, which is a critical event that's come in, and I can drill in and analyze that event, getting all of the detail about notable events, raw source data, and event evidence details as with any other event. I can also see the involved devices for this case and the users. Here again, I've got a lot of detail, whether it's a high value entity, in this case it's not, the IP address of the device, when that device was last on the network, what peer group that device belongs to, location, and other details that would be very helpful for me to know in deciding what action I might want to take next. If there are any linked cases or case notes, which there aren't in this case, or I could add, these would be here. As you've seen, SAS Cybersecurity's continuous monitoring and detection capabilities provide information on an organization's security posture and hotspots.
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I have shown you. I have what we call shown you one of the of the example that what we call they use the data mining in the cybersecurity field. Okay. So maybe later on I can give what we call it the MC as well. Some of many links that use what we call it. Use the software or use the data mining in the as a tools, also what we call it in the application in the system. So maybe later I will share with the MC so he can pass it to you later, because I do not want to show too many applications as we do not have much time and I have a slide to show. Okay, just now I said to you about data mining and also I said about data warehouse. Anyone of you heard about data warehouse?
No, but I have heard data and warehouse before.
Again?
I haven't heard about data warehouse, but I have heard about data and warehouse.
Okay. What is data warehouse? Actually, data warehouse is the logical collection of the information gathered from the operational database. This, what we call it, this data warehouse, it's used, what we call it, to help us to, what we call it, to make decision. Instead of we will make decision, it will make decision based on the calculation itself. So, or based on the mathematics. So later I will show you what we call it, how it works. Okay, let me show you the structure of the data warehouse and what is what we call it, the layers that it has. So as I said, this is what we call it, the structure of the data warehouse. It has what we call it, multi-dimensional. It has row, it has columns, and also it has layers. Every what we call it slides of the what we call it of the data house, we call it database. If you can see here, this is the green one. This is the marketing database. This one, the red one, is the sales database. Here is the blue color. Can you see the picture or not? Fikri?
Yes, sir.
Can you see the picture?
Yes, I can see the picture.
Okay. So what we call it, the green color ones is the customer database, and the last one, which is the yellow color one, is the product database. So each box of this data, we call it data mart. Later I will explain about what is the data mart itself. So what I want from you, actually the data warehouse, it is database. inside the data warehouse, it has database. Okay, inside also what we call it the database, it has small data. We call it the data mart, which is it will focus only on the small what we call it portion of the data. For example, this data warehouse is for the whole company. Data mart will focus only on one department of that company. Okay, so this is the structure of the data warehouse. Now, inside the what we call it the data warehouse, we have tool that's related to data mining. We have 4 type of tools that's used in the data warehouse. It is the first one, query and reporting tools, intelligent agent tools, and multidimensional analysis tools, and the last one is the statistic tools. I will explain every one of it. When it's come to the query and the reporting tools, this one is exactly like the OBE tools or SQL tools. This one also similar to the what we call it to the report that generates in the typical database. Okay, this is when it's come to the first type of tools that use in the data warehouse. The second tools, we call it the intelligent agent. This one actually use many artificial intelligent tools such as neural network, fuzzy, and what we call it too many artificial intelligence. And these tools actually it help us to find the hidden pattern in the information or in the database. So this is the advantage of these tools. The third one, it is the multidimensional analysis tools. This one, what we call, actually help us to view the information in multidimensional way. Also, it bring the layers to the front and also recognize row and columns. This is the last tools of the data mining that use in the data warehouse, which is, we call it the statistical tools. This one, it helped us to apply mathematic and statistic modules for the information and to play around what we call it with the data itself using the mathematical way. And it's also helped us to analyze what we call it the data and to get a specific information that we wanted actually. So this is, as I said, this is the system, what we call it inside the data warehouse. Now, as I said just now about data mart, if you can see here, data mart is actually a part of the data warehouse, but the data mart only focus on the small portion of the data in the warehouse. For example, as I said just now, one of the company contains of like 10 departments. So I want the information to be, what do you call it, focus on one department. So I will use data mart. So data mart is what we call it a data that contains a specific, or as we call it like subset portion of the whole data in the data warehouse. Okay, as you can see here, this is what we call it the same box that I said to you just now about the data warehouse, right? So each small box, it will focus on a specific data. For example, when it's come to the marketing, okay, all the information that related to the marketing, I want it to be saved in the data mart. So it is like a structure data that focus on a specific department or unit that we would like to focus on. So this is what we call it another diagram to show that the difference between the data mart and also the data warehouse. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Amir. Okay, let me ask question then. Stop the sharing for a while. I want to see all your faces. Huh. Okay, now, how many data that I just mentioned? how many type of data that I just mentioned? Let me ask Adila. Am I correct? Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Adila, how many type of data I just mentioned?
From all I heard, there's data mining, data warehouse, data mart.
Enough. Okay, data mining and data warehouse. I want to ask others. Let me see. I will choose from the last who just joined. Azmi, are you here? Can you hear me? I think Azmi is having technical problem. He cannot hear.
Yes, here. Yes, sir.
Oh, you are hearing me. Okay. Just now, what we call, I asked the question, how many type of data that I have just mentioned. So one of your friends did mention that one is data mining, another one is data warehouse. Lagi? Satu lagi? I have mentioned now 4 type of data. First, data mining. Second, data warehouse. Third, give me one.
Data mart, sir.
Again? I can't hear you.
Data mart, sir.
Oh, data mart. Okay. Thank you. Data mart, another one. Lagi? Let me ask another student. Wow, 152 participants. Okay, difficult to decide which one to ask. Zulkifli. This is the name of my supervisor when I was doing my PhD. Okay, Zulkifli, can you hear me? Zulkifli. Okay, la, Zulkifli cannot hear me, la. Or he is eating right now. Okay, Mohammed Nabil.
Yes, sir.
Nabil.
Yes, sir.
Nabil is focusing with me. Give me the last type of data that I have mentioned just now.
Last data from I watch. I think the last is data mart, sir.
Again?
Data mart. Data
Data mart correct. Data warehouse correct. Data mining correct. Lagi? There's one.
Maybe data security.
Data security, that one before. Data security correct. Satu lagi. Okay, let me ask. There is one type of data you still not given to me the name. Malvin. Let me ask Malvin. He's always focused. I can see from here. Okay, Malvin. I did mention about data mining, data security, data mart, and data warehouse, and also data mining. There is one type of data left. You still not give it to me. What is it?
Is it database?
Bagus. Database. Okay. So this is what we call it, the type of data that I have mentioned as of now. Let's go back. Are you still focusing with me or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Don't sleep.
Yes, we can see that.
Okay, here we will show you the difference between the database, data lake, and also data warehouse.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new data warehouse. All right, so before we cover the difference between them, we need to know the difference between structured and unstructured data. So in order to understand the difference again between database, data warehouse, and data lake, let's cover the difference between the two. So for structured data, this data is neat, has known schema, and could be fit in a fixed fields in a table. Basically, that's a dream of any data scientist, is to find structured data that looks like that. I have all the names in here, looks good. I have all the age, everything is clean. I don't have any missing information. That will be perfect. Okay, then I can use it and basically just run an algorithm on it and train an algorithm on it using this data. And that's actually a very easy task. And I'm going to show you how easy it is when we actually start building models using AWS SageMaker. But just please bear in mind that here this data is not as perfect as I mentioned, because here we have not a number, which means that there is some missing data. But the overall idea is this data is still structured, which means I have all the names are listed, there is defined schema, everything looks great. Yes, it might need a little bit of cleaning, but it's still structured as well. On the other hand, we have what we call it unstructured data. This data has no schema or structure. Basically, I have, let's say, like a newsletter, for example, a bunch of images mixed with text. There's no, it's hard to take this and feed it to an algorithm to infer information. Here, for example, I have a bunch of images, with no labels, just, and images of, let's say, like celebrities mixed with other people, mixed with, let's say, for example, let's say flowers here, stuff like that, like something like that's mixed, and it's really hard to create kind of a schema out of it or make it structured in a way, okay? And that's what we call it unstructured data. All right, so now as we cover the difference between structured and unstructured data, let's dig a little bit deeper into the difference between database, data lake, and data warehouse. So a database are typically structured with a defined schema. So structured data can basically fit in a database. Items are organized as a set of tables with columns and rows. And columns indicate attributes, and rows indicates an object or entity. For example, here I have a bunch of, a database would have, let's say, an employees. I have a company ID, I have department ID, I have the name of the employee, I have the manager ID, I have everything structured, and everything is in its place. You cannot play with it, you cannot change it, like you have to have the data, and it has to be structured and filled in here within all these rows and columns, okay? Examples of that, there is Amazon Aurora, that will be one of them, and we're going to cover that coming up in the next lecture. Example of a database is, let's say, MySQL. There is Oracle. There are tons of databases readily available. This is kind of, all what I want you to know from here is that database is very structured with a defined schema, which again, very simple, very straightforward. The next type of data storage per se is a data warehouse. A data warehouse exists on top of several databases, and it's basically used for business intelligence. So, for example, here I might have multiple databases for the company, for example. And what data house will do is it's going to consume that data from all these databases, okay, and create specifically a layer that is optimized to perform data analytics. So this is actually very important. Here on the database, it's basically designed mainly for transactional services. So basically, I just need like specific information and that's it. It's not optimized to do data analytics on a database. Like if I wanted to visualize, for example, like the different employees and the different, let's say, salaries, for example, it would be difficult with database. And that's why we use data warehouse that's specifically used for mainly data visualization and to perform business analytics. So a data warehouse will consume the data from different databases here and will perform, let's say, some data visualization, as you guys can see here. And the schema is done or extracted on import, okay, as you import the data from different databases. All right, and what about the data lake? The data lake is a centralized repository for structured and unstructured data. Again, it's from the name data lake. You can throw anything in it basically. So data lakes could be used to store raw data without any structure or schema. For example, I might be collecting data, for example, let's say from my customers, for instance, let's say about, like did they purchase products or not? Or let's say how many times they clicked on an ad, for example. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this data yet, so I don't know where to put it. I don't have structure for it, so I cannot put it in a database. I'm not planning to run analytics on it, so I don't want to use it, a data warehouse, for example. So maybe, I want to put it somewhere. Let's throw it in a data lake. That's pretty much it. So there's no need to perform any ETL or transformation jobs on the data. And you can store many types of data, such as images. I can throw in text, I can put in files, I can put in videos, whatever. Think of it as, your hard drive, for example. You just throw stuff in there. You can store machine learning models, artifacts. You can put, let's say, analytics in there. And this is kind of, you can throw in whatever you want. You can put in machine learning output. So as you train the model, you can put in the artifacts of the model, of the trained model in there. You can put in real-time data. You can throw in analytics output as well. And processing, if you want to do processing, will be done on export. So schema is defined on read. So as you extract information from the data lake, then I can assign schema to it, for example, or I can do that when I'm reading it, basically from the data lake. All right, okay, and that's all what I have for this lecture. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope now you understand the difference.
Okay. Let me ask. Hello, welcome back.
Yes, sir.
Really? Okay, now, have you get the meaning of the data lake?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you, what time now? 1:10. Okay, I will not take, give me another 5 hours. Enough?
Wait, is it
No lah, just kidding. Don't worry lah. I will try my best to finish on time lah. Okay, now, when it is come, okay, knowledge-based system. Okay, when it's come to knowledge-based system, actually, what is the knowledge-based system? It's a program that capture and use the knowledge from different type of resource. Knowledge-based system are what we call the primary use to support the human decision-making and learning and other activity. Actually, it's also help to solve problem, particularly complex issues, by using artificial intelligence, by using a neural network, what we call it, knowledge-based system. It is a major, what we call it, area of the artificial intelligence. As I said just now, this system can make decision based on data and information. So it can make what we call it can make our life easy, because we will give them data, we will train what we call it this system on how they are going to take the decision, and it's over time, it's improve the accuracy of the decision making by this type of system. Basically, the knowledge-based system consists of two parts, which is the first one, knowledge base, and the second one is the what we call it is the interface engine. Basically, the what we call it the knowledge base function as a knowledge source, while the interface engine function as a search engine. So if you need any information, anything, we will get it from there. As I said just now, this system, what we call it, is a learning simulation improve the learning or the accuracy of the result for the what we call, which is resulted from this system. It's improved over time because it's training. Good job. This one. Okay. See, as I said just now, this knowledge-based system is considered what we call it under the category of the expert system, or what we call it hypertext manipulating system. This one also what we call in this system, they use the artificial intelligence algorithms and also the neural network. Okay. As I said just now, one of the artificial intelligence system or one of the artificial intelligence approach is the neural network. And this one category of the deep learning techniques, which is concentrate only on the what we call pattern recognition and also the signal and image processing. Okay, so I have given you a short briefing on the what we call it on the knowledge-based system. So in summary, what is the knowledge-based system used for, and what is the advantage of the knowledge-based system? It's actually provide excellent documentation while handling large quantity of unstructured data using artificial intelligence and also using neural network. It's also helped to improve the decision making and to enable the users to work what we call at the highest level of the expertise. This one is what we call this type of system is useful when what we call it we do not have expertise or the expertise are not available, or even when the information must be stored effectively for the future or for the what we call it, for the other use. Another what we call important thing of using this system is to provide a common platform for integrating knowledge on the large skills platform. Okay, and the last one, which this system is capable of generating a new knowledge by using the stored data. So this is all about the knowledge-based system and about the session that I supposed to share with you. So what I'm going to do after this, I think I will have the what we call it I already have the contact for your lecturer, and also I think I will have the contact of Fikri because I have few link for the applications and also few important resource reference I want to share with you regarding this topic. So if you want to go more details, you go through it. Okay, so this is when it is come to the what we call it to the lecture that I have shared with you today. And let me share with you what time now. Give me another 5 minutes. I want to share with you some of the what we call it to give you an overview of the of my university here. So maybe later on in the future, after the COVID gone, inshallah, you can make a visit because your lecturer had visit us last time, right?
Yes, sir.
How many of you actually visit Malaysia? Mr. Hendra, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Mr. Hendra, last time he visit Malaysia lah. So
Ya, ini ada Bu Army nih.
Yeah.
Ayo, Mrs. Army, can you speak?
Hi, sir. How are you?
Where are you? Kejap, I want to see you.
No, I don't wear scarf.
Oh ya kah?
I'm
Okay.
at home.
I just got to know.
Yeah.
When you want to come here to Malaysia, visit again? You and Mr.
Where, Dr. Hendra? Maybe next year, maybe.
As possible as we can.
Inshallah, after
COVID-19
go away, because it's really affecting everyone in the world. So we pray, inshallah, this what we call it, this pandemic will go fast because we cannot live with it. Actually, it make everyone like stuck. So let me giving your student an overview of MSU and also what is the thing that we can provide for them actually. So maybe later we can ask them to join our community service and also our program here. Actually, also we have a short course for every particular hot topic in the computer science and also in computer security, such as like data mining, and also such as computer security, data security. So we have too many short courses. So maybe later on I will talk to what we call it to Dr. Hendra regarding this one, and if anyone of you interested. But first, let me show you what we call it, what we have, and what are the activities that actually we conducted in MSU. Okay, for those who didn't visit Malaysia or MSU yet, this is MSU. This is Management and Science University. Can you see it, Fikri?
Yes.
Yes, I can see that.
So this is Management and Science University, and this is what we call it. It contains of three main building, which is the first one. This one we call it the Management Tower, and also the center one we call it the Academic Tower, and the last one here we call it the Science Tower. And also actually we have our own medical hospital, which is we call it MSU Medical Center. So this one, it's all under MSU. Okay, this is our chancellor. He's very handsome. And this is our pro-chancellor, Tan Sri Datuk Dr. Wan. And I think everyone knows what we call it, Professor Tan Sri Datuk Dr. Wira Mohammed Shikri Abdul Yajid. He's the president of MSU and he's the owner of MSU. So let's go to the Vice Chancellor. This is Prof. Puan Sri Datuk Dr. Junaina Abdul Hamid. She is the Vice Chancellor of the university. Okay, in MSU here, actually, we are not only providing academic knowledge to our students, at the same time, we're providing learning experience and also many courses to improve the soft skill of the student itself. Because we believe that, and we have proven that. Yes, I agree with you sometime, and most of the people knows that the academic matter is very important, and I do agree with you. Some of the students, they have like CGPA 4 or 3.9, but there are another component that's also very important, equal to the academic. We call it the soft skill. So here in MSU, we develop the student soft skill through personal enrichment competency courses, and also through learning student experience, and also through activities that improve and that how to say that improve the soft skill of the student. So one of these soft skills, what we call it, we have like the student learning experience. We have the visiting prof, we have the adjunct professor, lecture series, workshop, even for the final year project. For example, when it's come to our faculty FISE, we have annual like a showcase or a seminar. We call it like Expo IREX, where all the student, bachelor or diploma, before they are going to go for the internship, they have to present their final year project. So we bring people from the industry to evaluate them, to give them what we call it feedback on how they are going to make their project useful and how to improve their project for future use. And also we have industrial trainer, where the student have to join the what we call it the industry, because we believe that also to have experience where the student will get that experience in the industry is very important for the student futures. Okay, just now I mentioned about the personal enrichment competency, which is, we call it in short form, PEC. These actually all like soft skill courses. For example, when it is come to PEC 100, or we call it thinking skills. Can you hear me? Fikri, Amir?
Yes, I can hear.
Yes.
Okay. So this, what we call it, this type of soft skills courses, it's really improve the student soft skills. Let's say when it's come to the PEC 100, or I just now, as I said, we call it thinking skill. We teach the student and we guide the student on how they can, what we call it, make a decision, and how they can solve the problem or any issues that face them when it's come, how they can critically thinking because this skill is very important for the student. Second one is PEC 200, or we call it the communication skills. So communication skills is very important to deal with others which come from different background, from different country, from different gender. You're supposed to have skills. If you want to do business or you want to do anything, communication skills is very important. So that's why we have to make sure all the students that graduated from the university, they have this type of skills. Also, when it's come to the PC 300, or we call it the management skill, we teach you on how to manage yourself, how to manage your time, how to manage your life itself. When it's come to the teamwork, I know some of you will say that, oh, I can't work alone. I can do things individually. Yes, I do agree with you. You can do things alone, but have you think if you can do your work in a team, no matter what is the task that have been assigned to you, if you are going to do it in a team, it will make the period of time very short, and the quality of the task that you will do is very good. So that's why we believe that teamwork is very important. Yes, you can do things by your own or individual, but to do things in a team is very important. This is one of the PC, or this is one of the soft skills that we give to our student. Also, when it's come to the leadership, this one we teach our student and we guide our student to improve the leadership skills that the student supposed to have. When it's come to the entrepreneur here, actually we give the student opportunity, or we give them the idea on how they can be entrepreneur. We also, what we call it, motivate the student when they want to do their own business. Even actually we have in our university, we have center, we call it LEAD. LEAD is what we call it, there are many programs under LEAD. One of the program we call it Jumpstart. So in the Jumpstart, we improve and we motivate the student to do their own business. Sometimes even we support them financially to make sure they can stand the business. Another skills, we call it IT skills, and also wellness. And when it's come to the last one, to the Sharia compliance, by the way, we have also Halal Center in the university. So here also some of the activity that has been conducted, and that's what we encourage our students to join, because it's really improved their soft skills, such as community service, industry linkages, competition, personal enrichment just now, internationalization. When it's come to the internationalization, actually, we have 3 types of the mobility program under MSU, where the first one, we call it Global Leadership Program. As you can see here, this one, can you see me here? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This one
Yes,
here,
sir.
I was, this one, I think it was 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. It is in Singapore. We have done community service in one of the children house. So this is one of the activity for Global Leadership Program, where we bring the student to travel overseas, and we stay there for 1 week, we stay there for 4 days, 5 days. We do too many activities, such as industrial visit, university visit, and also a community service. We go also discover the environment there, because we want our student to be well know about the other culture and other environment, because we do not want only them to be to be expert or to know about Malaysia or only about the country that they are living in. No, we want them to give them exposure about other culture, because that's very important for our student. Okay, this one also in Singapore, where we visit one of the the industry there. And here in this one, it's in Brunei last year before the COVID pandemic. This one here where some of the students, what we call it, around 25 students of us went to what we call it to Brunei for 7 days also. It was very good program. And this one here, as I said just now, we have GMP, which is we send the student, GLP, we send the student for 1 week, 2 week, 4 days, 5 days to oversee countries. And we have also GMP, which is global mobility programs here, where we send the student to other, what we call it, university, which is the partnership university with MSU for 1 semester. This is one of the, what we call it, of our bachelor in game design and animation student. His name is Young. He come back, he went to UK last year for 1 semester. Okay, and he was doing what we call it the GMP program as in Cambridge. Have you heard about it in Cambridge? So he just come back, I think 4 months ago. He just come back to Malaysia. So this is what we call the experience that we give to our students. They will go to another, what we call it, country, to another university. They will get a new learning experience, new culture. So all these activity and these soft skills, it's really build up and and develop our student. So that's all from me. I think just on time. So thank you for listening and for spending almost 2 hours with me. I hope to see all of you doing well during your bachelor, as most of you are going for the final year project, which is the last step of your bachelor. But let me telling you this. This is an advice from me to all of you, 150 students here. If I may ask, how old are you? Fakri, I have to ask you because you are the MC.
I am a newcoming student, sir. So I am 18 years old.
18. So while the rest? Okay, let me ask Amir. Amir, you still with me?
Yes, sir.
You are final year student, right?
Yeah, I'm with Fikri. I'm new coming student too, so I'm
You also
18 years
upcoming.
old. Yeah.
Okay. So roughly your age around 18, 19, 20, 21, something like that, right? So from now, you are what we call it, you're still very young. From now, you plan what you are going to do in this life. You plan and you put strategy. Okay, now you are diploma or you are bachelor. Once you will finish, what you will do? You will complete or you will continue to master while you are doing your own business. From now, you think and you plan well. Just to let you know that, to share with you and to motivate you, I got my PhD when I was 25 years old. And I got my PhD within 2 years only. My master, I got it within 1 year. Some of the good people who have been advised me before, that's why I am advising everyone and most of our students here. So from now, you have to put what we call it a plan, and you have to put a strategy. Okay, now your age is 18 or now your age is 20. When you want to finish your bachelor, what you will do after you finish your bachelor? My honest advice from here, from me, don't stop your study at this level. Don't stop. I know at this age, most of you would like to go to get married, would like to go to get job, and you want to get money. I know that. Why not? You can do it. While at the same time, you continue your study. You continue your master. Let me telling you this. In this life, there is nothing difficult. If you want to achieve anything in this life, you can achieve. But if you are willing to, let me asking you this question, especially this generation. Okay, let me ask Fikri as he is the MC. Fikri,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, who is our enemy?
Our enemy is, I don't know, it's pretty much, but I think our biggest enemy is ourselves.
Yes, correct. Our enemy is ourselves. Because you know what, especially this generation, no matter how we are good in advising and motivating them, but if they do not want to do something, they will not do. But if they really want to achieve something, no matter how difficult is that thing, they will do. That's why I said to you, our main enemy, ourselves. Because I am not that old than you, I can understand you and I can understand the way that you think, because I am considered also one of your generation. So that's why I said to you, from now, you think, okay, now, how old I am? 20. What should I do after, what we call it, after I complete my bachelor? Okay, I will do master. Yes, if anyone said to you doing master is difficult or impossible, I have proved it. It is not impossible. It is not difficult. If it is challenging, yes, but what is the life without challenge? And listen, this advice from me: do your master and PhD, and you achieve high qualification as long as you're still young, because you are very energetic now. Let me giving you this example. If you're asking me now to do my PhD, I will do, but I will not be fast as I was when I was 25. That's the human being. That's how Allah and how the God create us. When we are young, we are very proactive. We are very energetic. So at this time, this is the perfect time for you to push yourself to achieve more qualification, more high qualification, as long as you're still able. And if you want, what we call it, to do your master, we have under our faculty, we have 4 master program, which is, first we call it master in IT, second we call it master in design, third master of science in engineering, and the last one master of computer science, which is related to your topic or related, sorry, to your program. So basically all these 4 type of program, we call it master by research, and it is only for 18 months. So from now, you think, you plan, and you see what you will do. If you need advice, you need anyone to support you or something, you go back to your lecturer, Dr. Hendra, and all the, what they call it, the colleagues at the university there, they are very good in advising. If you want to travel overseas, you want to do your, what we call it, your master or your PhD, come here to Malaysia. Your university and my university are partnership. So we can arrange regarding, or even if you want to join any program or something, you are welcome to join at any times, but let your lecturer know about that. So that's all from me. I do not want to take more time because I know you looks also very hungry. So once again, that's all from me. Thank you very much. And Dr. Hendra, thank you very much for the invitation. I hope whatever I have shared today, it's important for the student. And if you have any question, if you have anything, if you need more clarification, please. My email and also my WhatsApp, I have shared it at the beginning with all of you. So that's all from me. Thank you very much. MC, the stage is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Hazim. A big applause and big appreciation for you, and thanks for the advice. I think and now we're gonna move on to Q&A session. I already have two questions for you, sir. It's
Okay.
from my friends. Do you want to answer at the same time, or do you want to answer it one by one?
Okay, give me the question itself, then I will be one by one.
Okay. First, there is a question by Arif Rizky Putrananda, my friend. He is asking, what is the difference between classification and clustering technique in data mining? It's pretty much the same, right? So that's why my friends are questioning about that. And secondly, there's a question from Kezia Julia. He asking, does data security can solve an information attack like cybercrime from hacker? That's all.
Okay, the answer for the second question is yes, it can be, and it can be applied in many applications. So this is the answer of the second question. The first question, what is the difference between the clustering and also the classification? Actually, when it is come to the clustering, when it's come to the classification, we classify what we call it, the data itself. We classify the database and we arrange it accordingly. Okay, that's when it is come to the classification. For example, I giving you very good example when it's come to the image. Right now, I have 100 image. When it is come to the clustering, I will sort the image based, for example, on the field. Okay, when it is come to the image processing for the, what we call it, for the graphics, I put it here. When it is come for the computer science, I will put it here. When it's come to the medical, I will put it here. I will put all, what we call it, the image itself, and I will structure it. Each picture, one label. Each picture, one label. How many label do I need to have? 100, right?
Right.
Okay, so when it is come to the clustering, okay, clustering, classification. When it's come to the classification, I will classify all the data itself and all the information based on the number of the information that I have. I just giving you example when it's come to the image. I have 100 image. I want to classify it. I will classify it based on the individual. Then I will train it and I will predict what is the analysis from it. This is the way of the clustering, of the classification. But when it is come to the clustering, just now I said we have 100 image, right? So we classify it based on 100 classifier. When it is come to the clustering, we will not classify it as 100 classifier, no, but we will see which image near from each others. We will create clusters. For example, 100 image, we create 10 cluster, and we will put each similar image to one cluster. For example, when it is come to the I giving you example of, okay, just now I give example of 100 image, right? Let's say that the image itself is about flowers. How many flowers do we have? How many type of flowers do we have? For example, this 100 image, one of the image, 10 image is related to flowers, 10 image related to car, 10 image related to people. When it has come to the classification, I will label all individually and cluster it and classify it one by one. But when it has come to the clustering, I will create 10 cluster, one cluster for the flowers, one cluster for the cars image, one cluster for the people image. So I will have only 10 cluster instead of having 100 classifier. Do I answer your question?
Well, Arif, do you already understand?
Arif?
Yes, sir. Thank you for your explanation. I understand.
Okay, no problem.
I think it's enough for the Q&A session. Thank you, Sir Hazim, for the answer. Right now, we will, at the end of the schedule, we will take a photo shoot together. So,
Okay.
my friend, please turn on your cam and put on your best smile.
Okay,
For
give me the
the
best
photo shoot
smile that you have. If you wear mask, take out.
Okay.
Oh, now I can see you. Okay, any three, you want me to take or you take? Fikri?
No, we will take it from ours.
Okay,
Kak Boy.
okay.
Okay. Slide 1. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Because there are a lot of slides. Slide 2. 1, 2, 3, smile. Slide 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you everybody for the participation. Before we end our conference today, please fill the absence and feedback questions in the chat box for the participant. If you already fill it, thank you. Let's close the conference. Thank you very much for the participant for joining DECOTA 2020, and special thank for Dr. Hazim Alkawaz. A big applause for you, sir, and for the lesson that you give in the class today. Thank you, and see you in the next DECOTA 2020.
Okay.
Thank you very
Assalamualaikum.
much.
Okay, bye.
Waalaikumsalam
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hendra.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, sir.
And thank you also.
Most welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
The participant may leave the Zoom. Thanks. Oh, udah.